The night was quiet, a familiar stillness enveloping the library as Syloki sat at a corner table, engrossed in the dense, dusty tomes chronicling the rich yet tumultuous history of Doskvol. Her fingers traced the faded ink on the pages, searching for any clues that might connect the enigmatic Jerome Valeska to the mysterious artifact she had been investigating. The soft rustle of pages turning and the distant sound of a clock ticking provided a soothing backdrop, allowing her thoughts to swirl around the labyrinthine plots that crisscrossed the city. Just as Syloki was beginning to lose herself in the faded stories of the past, she sensed a presence approaching. Sheila Crawford, the ever-enthusiastic and buoyant dimmer sister, glided over, her bright demeanor lighting up the otherwise shadowy library. "Hey, Syloki," Sheila chirped, her voice a melody of warmth and excitement. "Mind if I join you? I've got something I think you'll want to hear about." "Of course, Sheila," Syloki replied, a smile breaking across her usually serious features. "What's on your mind?" Sheila settled into the chair across from her, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "You know that new hotel in 6 Towers? The one called Hotel Vida Nova?" Syloki nodded, her curiosity piqued. "Yes, I've heard a few whispers. They say it's owned by Tobias Ford. But I also caught wind that he's connected to the Crows, particularly Rabbit's Foot. Is that true?" "Exactly." Sheila leaned forward, her excitement infectious. "I just got word that I'm being assigned to an espionage mission for the Dimmer Sisters, and guess where it's taking place?" "Hotel Vida Nova?" Syloki guessed, her heart quickening. "You mean to investigate it?" "Bingo!" Sheila exclaimed, clapping her hands. "And I need a partner for this." "I immediately thought of you. It's the perfect opportunity for both of us. You can talk to Tobias without raising any suspicion from Harleen Quinzel." Syloki's mind raced as she processed the information. This could be exactly what I need. If Tobias is as connected to the Crows as they say, he might have insights into the true artifact and its connection to Jerome. "Right?" Sheila replied, her smile widening. "Plus, the more time we spend there, the more we can uncover. And if things get dicey, having you with me gives me a sense of security. You know how the other Dimmer sisters can be a little intense." "Intense is putting it mildly," Syloki quipped, her lips curling into a smirk. "But I agree. Being in a place where rumors swirl around Tobias and the Crows could yield valuable information. I'd be able to gauge his disposition towards the Crows and potentially his relationship with Rabbit's Foot." Sheila nodded enthusiastically. "Exactly. And think about it, this will allow you to get close to Tobias while still being part of a mission, so you'll blend in with the Dimmer sisters. We'll be able to observe without drawing too much attention." "What's your plan for the mission?" Syloki inquired, leaning forward, intrigued. "I'll pose as a hotel reviewer," Sheila explained, her tone conspiratorial. "I'll ask about the hotel's amenities and services while subtly probing into Tobias's connections. We can work together to see if we can sniff out anything that could connect him back to the artifact or Jerome." "I like that idea," Syloki said, her analytical mind spinning scenarios. "Tobias might lower his guard with a friendly visitor. If you ask the right questions, we might be able to unearth more than just the hotel's offerings." "Exactly," Sheila responded, a glint of determination in her eye. "I'll handle the charm and the small talk. You just keep your keen eyes open for anything that doesn't add up. You know how to read between the lines." "Trust me, I'll be listening carefully," Syloki assured her. "This is a great chance to gain valuable insights. But we have to be careful, Harleen is vigilant, and any slip could land us in trouble." "Don't worry," Sheila replied, her upbeat nature unyielding. "I've got your back. We're in this together, and we'll make sure to cover each other." The day of the mission dawned with a sense of promise as Syloki and Sheila approached Hotel Vida Nova, a new establishment in the 6 Towers district, still finding its footing in the competitive hospitality landscape. The hotel's exterior was unassuming, but there was a buzz about it, whispers of great potential and intriguing connections. As they entered, the atmosphere hummed with a mix of curiosity and anticipation. Inside, they were greeted by Miranda Pedersens, a tall, lithe woman whose quiet confidence set her apart. Her dark hair fell elegantly over her shoulders, and her gaze held a keen awareness of her surroundings. "Welcome to Hotel Vida Nova. How can I assist you today?" she asked, her voice smooth yet carrying an edge of scrutiny. "Hi, I'm Sheila Crawford, here for a review for a travel magazine," Sheila replied, her enthusiasm palpable. "I've heard some interesting things about your hotel." Miranda's eyebrow arched slightly, a hint of skepticism dancing in her expression. "An obscure magazine? What do you hope to review?" "I'm looking into the unique offerings and potential of up-and-coming places like this one. I've been hearing that Tobias Ford, the manager, is quite the character," Sheila said, shooting a glance at Syloki, who was quietly observing. "Ah, Tobias," Miranda replied, her tone shifting. "He's dedicated to making this hotel a success. But I must ask, what specifically draws your interest in him?" Syloki seized the moment, stepping forward. "I've heard he has connections with the Crows. I'm friends with Arthur Xavier, and I thought I could learn more about their operations through Tobias." Miranda's expression tightened slightly, a flicker of wariness in her eyes. "The Crows are not a light topic around here. What do you intend to discuss with Tobias?" Syloki remained calm, forcing a casual smile. "Just exploring some of the local ties in Doskvol. I'm interested in understanding how different factions interact with one another. It's all part of the story." "Interesting story you're weaving," Miranda said, crossing her arms. "But your inquiries about Tobias are raising my suspicions. I'll need to inform my supervisor." Before Syloki could respond, Miranda waved her hand, summoning a figure from deeper within the hotel. Moments later, a striking woman entered. Elira Knox, the head of security. Her presence was commanding, exuding a calm authority that made the air around her feel charged. "Miranda, what seems to be the issue?" Elira asked, her voice smooth yet piercing. "Miss Knox, these two are asking about Tobias Ford," Miranda explained, her eyes flitting between Syloki and Sheila. "They seem overly interested in his connections." Elira's gaze locked onto Syloki, assessing her with a piercing scrutiny. "What is your interest in Tobias Ford?" she asked, her tone even but laced with an unspoken warning. "I'm looking to discuss some affiliations," Syloki replied, her voice steady despite the weight of Elira's stare. "I'm friends with Arthur Xavier, and I've heard that Tobias works closely with the Crows. It would be beneficial to understand those relationships." Elira's brow furrowed slightly, considering the implications of Syloki's words. "Arthur Xavier is not a name we take lightly." "What do you expect to gain from this conversation?" "I assure you, my intentions are sincere," Syloki said, leaning in slightly. "I simply want to ensure there are no misunderstandings. My friend Arthur has mentioned the importance of these connections in navigating Doskvol's complexities." Elira remained silent for a moment, weighing Syloki's response. "Your approach is audacious, and I respect that. However, you must understand that the Crows have their own agenda. Why should I trust that you won't tip the scales?" Sheila chimed in, her bright demeanor still present despite the tension. "Miss Knox, I'm here as a hotel reviewer. We're not looking to cause trouble, just gather information and write an honest piece about a promising hotel. If anything, we'd like to highlight the potential of your establishment." Elira studied them both, her expression inscrutable. "Very well. You seem earnest, but I need to ensure there's no foul play involved. I'll fetch Tobias for you, but know this, if I sense any deceit, I won't hesitate to remove you from this hotel." "Thank you, Miss Knox. We promise to be straightforward," Syloki replied, feeling a mix of relief and adrenaline. Elira nodded curtly and gestured for them to wait. As she departed, Syloki turned to Sheila, her heart racing. That could have gone worse. Alira seems sharp, like she knows everyone's secrets. She definitely has a way of getting to the point, Sheila said, her eyes wide with excitement. But we're finally getting a chance to meet Tobias. Do you think he'll share anything valuable? I hope so, Syloki said, her mind racing with possibilities. This is the chance I've been waiting for. If Tobias knows anything about the true artifact or Jerome's connections, it could shift everything in my investigation. As Alira Knox strode away to fetch Tobias, Sheila turned her attention to Miranda, eager to gather insights about the hotel. So, what are the biggest challenges you face running a place like Hotel Vida Nova? She asked, a friendly smile on her face. Miranda crossed her arms, a hint of weariness creeping into her expression. This area has its own set of difficulties. Between managing unruly guests and ensuring that no trouble spills over from the streets, it's a constant battle. And with the hotel still building its reputation, we can't afford any incidents that might scare away potential clientele. I can imagine. It must be stressful, Sheila replied, her tone sympathetic. How do you handle it all? Carefully, Miranda said, glancing around the lobby as if assessing any lurking threats. We have a security team on standby, and we're always on the lookout for suspicious activity. It's essential to keep our guests safe and maintain a positive atmosphere. As they spoke, Syloki remained vigilant, scanning the room and observing the various patrons milling about. Her attention was drawn to a woman entering the hotel, her movements awkward and stiff. The woman's gaze seemed unfocused, and she approached the reception desk with an unsettling air. Late, says the White Rabbit, the woman intoned monotonously, her voice eerily rhythmic. Miranda, now at the reception, turned to the woman with a mix of curiosity and concern. Excuse me, can I have your name and do you wish to rent a room? She asked, trying to steer the conversation. The woman continued to repeat her mantra, late, says the White Rabbit, her expression unchanging. Can you tell me more about what you need? Miranda pressed, attempting to get a clear answer. I think she might be in distress, Sheila murmured to Syloki, her brow furrowing. Syloki nodded, her instincts tingling with unease. Just then, a man entered the hotel, his movements mirroring the woman's stiff gait. A bad feeling coiled in Syloki's stomach. Something is off here. Miranda's brow furrowed deeper. I really need you to provide some identification. This isn't a game, and I can't let you just walk around without knowing who you are. But the woman ignored her, continuing to chant, late, says the White Rabbit. Maybe we should call for assistance, Sheila suggested, glancing around for anyone who might help. Before they could act, the woman suddenly lunged, gripping Miranda's wrist with a vice-like strength while brandishing a glinting knife. Late, she screamed, her eyes wild with a fervor that sent chills down Syloki's spine. Get back! Miranda shouted, her initial calm shattered as she tried to break free. The knife was perilously close. Sheila didn't hesitate. She lunged forward, grabbing the woman's arm. No! Let her go! Sheila shouted, struggling to pry the knife from the woman's grip. Stop her, the man bellowed, rushing at Miranda with a wild expression, and in an instant, the lobby erupted into chaos. Run! Syloki yelled, instinctively moving toward the man, but he was faster, shoving her aside with surprising strength. She stumbled but quickly regained her footing, adrenaline pumping through her veins. Get off her! Sheila yelled as she wrestled with the woman, the knife skimming dangerously close to her skin. I won't let you hurt anyone. The man charged at Sheila, his fist swinging toward her. We are so late, he screamed, his eyes crazed. Syloki dove into the fray, tackling the man from the side. Get down, she yelled, trying to pin him to the ground. They tumbled, and Syloki felt the impact jolt her body, but she fought through the pain. Help us! Sheila called, her voice strained as she struggled against the woman's iron grip. The knife was twisting dangerously, and the two women were outmatched by the strength of their attackers. Miranda, shaken but determined, shouted, "Elira! We need help!" The man broke free from Syloki's grasp, and before she could recover, he threw a punch that connected with her jaw. Pain shot through her, and she staggered back, momentarily disoriented. "Stay away from her." Syloki gritted through her teeth, her leg aching from the earlier impact. She charged at the man again, landing a solid kick to his midsection. He grunted but quickly retaliated, grabbing her arm and twisting it painfully. "Late, late," the woman shrieked, her focus solely on Sheila. "You're too late." "Shut up," Sheila shouted, desperation fueling her as she tried to maneuver away from the knife. In a moment of bravery, she lunged forward, striking the woman's wrist and causing the knife to clatter to the floor. "Nice move," Syloki called out, hoping to empower her friend. But the man, furious, swept in again, grabbing Sheila and slamming her against the wall. "You're all going to regret this," he growled. Syloki dove toward him, grabbing him around the waist and pulling him backward, trying to break his hold on Sheila. But he was solid, and she felt herself losing ground. Just as things seemed dire, Miranda found her voice again. "I'll call for Elira. You two need to hold on." She turned to make a break for the phone, her resolve strengthening in the face of chaos. Syloki's focus sharpened, and she redoubled her efforts against the man, but he threw her off with a powerful shove. Pain shot through her leg as she stumbled back, the stab wound throbbing. "I can't hold him for long," she yelled, struggling to regain her footing. With renewed ferocity, Sheila lunged at the woman again, attempting to subdue her, but the woman was quick, pivoting and landing a wild punch that knocked Sheila to the ground, rendering her unconscious. "No!" Syloki screamed, rage igniting within her. She launched herself at the man, fury driving her. "You'll pay for that." The fight raged on, the lobby echoing with shouts and the sound of bodies colliding. Just when it seemed like the situation was hopeless, a loud bang pierced through the air, freezing everyone in place. Tobias Ford burst into the lobby, gun drawn, eyes wide with shock at the scene unfolding before him. "What the hell is going on?" he shouted, and without hesitation, he aimed at the woman and fired. The shot rang out, and the woman screamed, collapsing to the floor, clutching her leg. The sudden chaos of the moment provided just enough distraction for Miranda to tackle the man, pushing him to the ground with a surprising force. "Get down!" Tobias barked again, his voice authoritative. Elira burst into the lobby just in time, tackling the woman who had been shot, swiftly subduing her as she writhed in pain. Syloki collapsed against the reception desk, breathing heavily, her heart racing. "Is everyone all right?" she gasped, glancing between Sheila and the others. "We're fine," Tobias said, though concern shadowed his features as he assessed the situation. "Just stay back." "Nice shot, Tobias," Miranda said, her voice steadying as she held the man down. "But what the hell did we just get caught in?" "Something far more dangerous than we expected," Tobias replied, eyes scanning the room for any further threats. "We need to secure this place and find out who these people are." As the adrenaline ebbed and reality sank in, Syloki realized they had stumbled into a deeper layer of Doskvol's darkness, one that threatened not just Hotel Vida Nova but the fragile peace that held the city together.